Hi friends of the Buffalo Naval Park. I'm Shane Stevenson, Director of Museum Collections and Curator here. So if you've checked in with our video of the differences between the Cobia and the Croaker, I am now standing down in what is our reconstituted pump room. So there's the control room where I filmed the video, and then I actually came down and now I have lights on and things like that. So ready to discuss a little bit more of the conversion and how that actually played out throughout the late 40s into the early 50s. And you had the grouper, USS Grouper, being the SSK Type 1. Now what they did was, ultimately the plan was to make all of the SSKs with the BQR4 transducer passive array on the bow. They ended up on the bow. When the grouper was being put into service and reconfigured, the BQR4 wasn't fully ready yet. So they used the BQR3 passive transducer array, and what they did was they mounted it at the subsail. So at the bottom of the subsail, they mounted it on the SSK Type 1 USS Grouper. What they found was having it so close to the conning tower, to the control room, and ultimately into the pump room was that it cut down the search radius by about 50% because there was so much other interference going on here in the center of the vessel. And it was the BQR3, not the BQR4. So that's why they tested it, and then when they were ready, when the BQR4 was finished and ready for service, they brought the SSK Type 2 into existence and modified 6 vessels, 6 boats, and they said, well, okay, we're going to put the BQR4 on the bow to get it away from all of this noise and interference. But we're also going to do a couple of things. We're going to try to wrap the pump room, all right, in insulation. That didn't really work out that well. So as I mentioned in yesterday's video, they took a lot of the equipment and generators that were in the pump room and placed them farther back, away from the bow and the BQR4. So as I also mentioned in yesterday's video, this was for, the pump room was for the motor generators, for the internal communications, for the electrical panels, for the low pressure, high pressure air compressors, the master gyro compass, and I showed, you can't really see it that well, and you know, I had to print it out again, so I used black and white instead of color this time. Sorry. But there's Ken, again, standing in really the exact same spot that I am currently. Again, the ladder would have been here, not forward here, and I was actually across the space over there. So on the Cobia, you can walk, you come down, you hit the ladder, you can walk port, forward, you can almost go around. Now, I can't even demonstrate it for you, but you can almost walk around that corner and end up back here. Again, as I mentioned, there's a centerline bulkhead here now, and it was cut, and the rest of the equipment that was here was moved aft. because the insulation didn't work. I think they really hoped that the insulation wrapping all of the motor generators would deaden the sound enough, but it just didn't happen. So they said, okay, we're hold on here. We're getting a more powerful passive array, which kind of matches what the duties were of Hunter Killer, and we need to bring on the equipment that can read all of that BQR4 data and signal coming through. So let's just cut the pump room in half. Now we're solving two problems. We're moving some of this equipment here farther away from the bow and the array, while we can then also construct a specific sonar space as well. Now I linked the video that I did a year ago, or about a year and a half ago maybe, about the sonar space. I linked that in yesterday's video, so hopefully you've checked that out. So now what we need to do, or I need to do, not you, you're in the comfort of wherever you are. I need to climb up, go over, and then go down onto the other side of this bulkhead directly in front of me. So let's go do that. Well, it got a little messed up. Let's see, but you might be able to see this photograph here. Again, I had a colorized version yesterday, but when I needed to print it back out, I just did it in monochrome or just grayscale. So this is me. Ken is taking the photograph on the Cobia, and this is me walking forward in the forward port quarter of this pump area. Now, if we were to take a look, there's the room to the sonar space. So I am probably roughly where the doorway is to the sonar space. You can see that on the right-hand side, you still have that machinery and those pumps from the fully imagined pump room space. But here's the bulkhead I was mentioning. And all of that equipment has been moved elsewhere. So if I walk forward, here is the sonar room. Again, please check out that video that I did. A little storage cubby hole, if you can believe it, back here. And then looking aft, a lot of the power panels for the sonar space. And this was very clear evidence as to why they couldn't keep it in the forward torpedo room, because you would have had to have had all of this equipment up in the forward torpedo room, and you're automatically already losing torpedo tubes 1 and 2. And now you'd be losing more space. So let's cut the pump room. That solves some of that problem because you can move it elsewhere. Let's build the sonar space here. And now you have two separate areas because the hatch is here where it's not on the Cobia. And for the SSK's Type 2, this is what they went with moving forward. Now, coming shortly will be a video about the original plans for the SSKs, which began shortly after World War II in 1946. That was an interesting time for the SSK development because of the different ideas, the austerity needs of the government and money, the worry over the submarine, Soviet Union submarine threat. So I hope you'll enjoy that video, because what turned into the SSKs, of which you can visit Croaker and Kavala, was not on the original drawing board in 1946 and 1947. So what was on the drawing board? That will be in a next upcoming video. Well, I hope you enjoyed. Appreciate you coming along, and thanks so much for your support as always. Give a thumbs up.